Hello everyone and welcome to my first YouTube video that is not a short. This is very exciting and today we're going to be picking out my June TBR. With my TBRs, I do like to have at least 3 or 4 books on there that are in the middle of series, like the series that I'm continuing. So for this month, we have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is book 2 in Off Campus. I read the deal and really liked it, and I'm obviously going to watch the TV show, so I need to keep going with the rest of the series. We have Dracora, I believe is how you pronounce that, by Lynette Noni, which is book 3 in the Midorian Chronicles. This is just a fun YA fantasy series. It's just so easy. I can just pick one up and just read it. We have Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sulin Tan, which is book 2 in, I'm not even sure what this is called, it's The Celestial Kingdom, I believe. This is only a little duology. I read the first one this month and I absolutely loved it. It's just so, the writing, it was just amazing. And then I want to finish the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent, which the last book is Mother of Death and Dawn. So I'm super excited to get into that one as well. It is a bit of a chunker, so we'll see how we go. That gives us 4 books, and I think we might go with 6 prompts from my little TBR jar, and then we'll see kind of what we end up with, and we might do a few more. We'll just play it by ear and see what happens. So, I really need to redo these. It's so hard to get out. The first prompt we have is, check that out the way, a light-hearted book. Let me get some for you. I went for a bit of a look and I found 3 possible options. The first one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So this is 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. I think this is probably the last Emily Henry book I have left to read, so I do want to pick that one up. We have Love in Focus by Lila Lee, which is about a relationship advice columnist, Gemma, who gets broken up with. She's paired with a different photographer who turns out to be her ex from college. Yeah, college. So that could be a fun little romance as well. And then Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, which is book 2 to Better Than the Movies. So Wes got his dream girl and then he lost her. So they broke up and now we're trying to get back together with all swoon-worthy moves. So that could be very light-hearted too. I think I kind of want to read People We Meet on Vacation. A, because there's a movie out, and B, because I just want to say I've read most of Emily Henry's, if not all her works. So I think for prompt 1, a light-hearted read, we're going to go with People We Meet on Vacation. Alrighty, prompt number 2. We have a book with alternating POV. Let me find some. I found 2 for this prompt. The first one is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which I believe is book 1 in, I think this is a trilogy. So the back is, Kel is one of the last travellers, magicians with a rare ability to travel between parallel universes connected by one magical city. There's Grey London, without magic and ruled by the Mad King, George III. Red London, where magic is revered, and where Kel was raised alongside the heir to the Empire. White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic, and magic fights back. And once there was Black London. So that sounds quite cool. Or the second option is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which is also starting a new series. This is book 1 in Mistborn. So the back of this one, for 1,000 years the ash fell. For 1,000 years the scar slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Every attempt to revolt has failed miserably, yet somehow hope survives. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the courage of an unlikely heroine, a Scar Street urchin who must learn to master allomancy, the power of a Mistborn. What if the prophesized hero had failed to defeat the Dark Lord? The answer will be found in the Mistborn trilogy. So that sounds really cool as well. But this one's huge, like a chunker, and this one's not. I think when I do Brandon Sanderson, I think I just want to do like the whole Mistborn trilogy in like a month, like just read them all. So I think for this prompt, we're going to go with A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. For prompt 3, we have the longest book on your TBR. Right. I'm assuming for this one, it can only be either standalones, the start of a series, not something in the middle of a series. So let me have a look. So this was interesting because the first one I picked up because I thought, oh, this might be the longest, was Furybound by Sable Sorensen, which is book 2 in A Wolves of Ruin, because I read the first one this month and it was over 600 pages. It's not. Shield of Sparrows by Devaney Perry is longer, which would be good because the second book's out for that one too. But Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson is about 20 pages longer, coming in at 643. And the font is tiny. So we are going to be putting Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson on the TBR anyway. So for prompt number 3, we have Mistborn. Oh, that's much better. I fixed my hair. I feel better. It's not annoying me anymore. Prompt number 4. Ooh, I like this one. A book that has mixed media in it. Letters, texts, maps, also articles, etc. Ooh, I like this. This one took a minute. I had to employ Goodreads help for this because I couldn't figure out any. So according to Goodreads, the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson has some mixed media in it. I think this has got something to do with like a drama class or some kind of... So apparently that's got mixed media in it. So this one, the back says, 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mum's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished and young Belle was the only witness. Rachel is gone, presumed dead. The case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end for life to go back to normal, but then Rachel Price reappears and life will never be normal again. That sounds really fun. I like that. That actually sounds really fun. We have apparently Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. This is... The back of this one says, "Where'd you go? I miss you so. Seems like it's been forever that you've been gone." In 5th grade, my teacher set us up with pen pals from a different school. Thinking I was a girl with a name like Misha, the other teacher paired me up with her student, Ryan. My teacher, believing Ryan was a boy like me, agreed. It didn't take long for us to figure out the mistake, and in no time at all we were arguing about everything. Best takeout pizza, Android v iPhone, and whether or not Eminem was the greatest rapper ever. And that was the start. For the next 7 years it was us. Her letters are always on black paper with silver writing. Sometimes it's 1 a week or 3 in a day, but I need them. She's the only one who keeps me on track, talks me down, and accepts everything I am. We only had 3 rules. No social media, no phone numbers, no pictures. We had a good thing going. Why ruin it? Until I run across a photo of a girl online, named Ryan, high school senior, loves Gallows Pizza and worships her iPhones. What are the chances? Fuck, I need to meet her. I just don't expect to hate what I find. That sounds really good as well. Shit. And the last one is Voracious by Lee Rivers, which is book 2 in the Edge of Darkness trilogy. I did read book 1 this month and I loved it. I think this has text messages in it. I think I might put this one aside out of just prompt. I might add this to like my series to continue. I might make it 5 books to continue. We'll have a look. But both of these sound really good. So you got pen pals v like a documentary style setting. I think we're gonna go with the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson because it just sounds so interesting. So that is our book for mixed media format. All right, prompt number 5. My glasses are like falling down my nose a little bit. Ooh, this looks long. Okay, what do we got? A book with an award. I've got 3 for this, and here's me going, oh, this is going to be super easy. But the amount of books that have on the front best-selling author of or international bestseller, not like an actual accolade or award. So we ended up with God of Malice, which is book 1 in Legacy of Gods by Rena Kent. The back of this one, don't romanticize me or you'll be eaten alive. Killian Carson is a predator cloaked in charm. His charisma fools everyone except Glyndon King, I think. She sees the psychopath beneath and knows she should run, but a dark part of her craves the danger knowing he'll chase her, and she might just want to be caught. Glyndon has never been anyone's favourite, always falling short of her family's expectations. But Killian, he doesn't expect anything except that she's his now. Their schools are rivals, their families lifelong enemies, but none of that matters to him. Can 2 broken souls heal each other, or will their twisted desires tear them apart? As their paths collide in more disturbing ways than they might have imagined, it could either strengthen their bond or be their undoing. This sounds really good. Apparently, there's a little from another video, so I must have put it on the TBR before and just not read it. That sounds really good. I've read the Thorns duet by her, the 2 books that are out in the Villain series and the 2 that are out in the Venom series, and I've really liked Rena Kent so far, so this is definitely a strong contender. The other one, another dark romance, because I don't have a dark romance on the TBR yet, is Blood and Roses by Callie Hart, which is a Sunday Times bestseller. The back of this one is what happens in the dark never stays in the dark. As one of Seattle's most dangerous and feared men, Zeph Mayfair always carries out the job he was sent on without a second thought. Drugs, guns, dirty money, all fair game. But even his warped moral code has its limits. When Zeph's employer suddenly decides buying and selling kidnapped women is a lucrative sideline, Zeph's usually uncomplicated life suddenly becomes very complicated indeed. And his biggest complication goes by the name of Sloane Romera. Sloane desperately needs to find her sister, and she knows she can't do it alone. Zeph is terrifying, scandalously hot, and comes fully loaded with a terrible attitude and wicked smile. It also looks like he's Sloane's only help. Can she work with the guy without getting herself killed, losing her job, or falling head over heels in love? That sounds really cute. I think this has now been traditionally published. So I think I have a feeling she had published this a while ago and it's now been picked up. Callie Hart is obviously the author of Quicksilver and Brimstone. So that one's intriguing. Or the other one was Shield of Sparrows by Tiffany Perry, which I do definitely want to get to. It is a USA Today best-selling author. So it's not really an accolade, I suppose. So we're probably going to go with that one. I think we're going to go with God of Malice by Rena Kent because I'm on a bit of a Rena Kent kick at the moment and it sounds so... This is going to be prompt number 6 and we might make this the last one because that'll give us 6 prompts. 5 books are in the middle of, like, series that we're in the middle of, so that's 11. Then I might just pick 4 books off my shelf that I really want to read that we can chuck on the TBR just for options as well. And if I don't get through my TBR, I don't really care. I just like to have options. So our last prompt, no, that one looks too long, is going to be a celebrity memoir, which I don't have any of those, nor am I interested in reading anything in that genre, so we're skipping that one. Maybe I might do that. It's a long weekend here in WA, so I might redo my TBR job this weekend. Right. Oh, this one's better. a book you've had for more than a year. There's a lot of options on this. All right, I have pulled 3 for this one. I'll look at the floppy on this. Oh, that's nice. So the first one I've pulled is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I do love Ali Hazelwood's writing. So the back of this one, Rue Subert might not have it all, but she has enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, and a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science. Oh, that's interesting. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard fought, until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. Eli Kilgore and his business partner want Klein, period. Eli has his own reasons for pushing this deal through, and he's a man who gets what he wants, with one burning exception, Rue, the woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman who's off limits to him. Torn between loyalty and an undeniable attraction, Rue and Eli throw caution out the lab and the boardroom windows. Their affair is secret, no strings attached, and has built-in deadline. The day one of their companies will prevail, but the heart is risky business, one that plays for keeps. So that's interesting. I read his Friends with Benefits, and I'm enough in the mood for Friends with Benefits. We'll see. Well, it's more like Enemies with Benefits, maybe. I don't know. The next one is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Little like chains on that. That's so cute. Right. Where's a blurb for this one? Also, how pretty is that? Like pomegranates? Is this like a Hades thing? Alright, what's it say? Fate can be changed, curses can be broken. In a shabby house in the new capital of Madrid, Luisa Catado uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil, but when her scheming mistress discovers her scullion is hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Luisa use those gifts to win over the royal court. Determined to seize this chance to better her fortunes, Luisa plunges into a world of power-hungry nobility. Desperate kings, holy men, and seers, where the line between magic, science, and fraud blur, with the pyres of the Inquisition. Wow, that was bad. Burning, she must use every bit of her wit and resilience to win fame and hide the truth of her ancestry, even if that means enlisting the help of an embittered immortal familiar whose secrets could cost her everything. Which I'm guessing the familiar might be the scorpion, because on the front there's also like a jar with a scorpion in it. There's like a scorpion. So it's got something to do with the scorpion. That sounds really interesting too. And the last one is Iron and Embers by Helen Schurer. This is book 1 in the Ashes of Themsar series. This is like the follow-on series to the Legends of Themsar series. So I'm very intrigued in this as well. What's the back of this one? This follows the sister of our main protagonist in the first one. I don't know if I can read the back of this. No, I don't think I can, because I think if you want to read Legends of Themsar, it's going to spoil it. Is there any tropes I can tell you? Probably not. I think it's going to be enemies to lovers, because, well, it's a romantasy, and I know the setup for this. It's also like she's an alchemist. He's like a deadly warrior. So there's that one. I kind of want to pick it up because it's on Kindle Unlimited now. But these all actually sound really interesting. We've got a pretty romantic-y, kind of heavy TBR, so I might not do that one. I might actually do The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, because that is kind of intriguing me the most. This is kind of like a little fun romance I could just pick up when I want to, but this one, and we're coming into winter as well, so like a bit of a rivalry, historical, might kind of be a bit nice. Is there romance? Does this end up in like a romance? I wonder. We'll find out. We're going to go with The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo for a book that's been on my TBR for more than a year. So we've ended up with 15 books in total. So for books for series, I'm partway through. We have Voracious by Lee Rivers, book 2 in the Edge of Darkness trilogy. We have Heart of the Sun Warrior, which is book 2 in the Celestial Kingdom duology by Su Lin Tan. We have, and I'm going to butcher this again, Dracora by Lynette Noni, which is book 3 in the Midorian Chronicles by her. We have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is book 2 in the Off Campus series. And we have Mother of Death and Dawn by Carissa Broadbent, which is book 3 and the final book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. Then, to conclude our TBR, I've picked up, whoa, that nearly ended really badly. I've found 4 books that I just want to chuck on the TBR that I want to read, just to give me some variety if I'm not in the mood for the ones we've picked up. So the first one is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I've never read The Lord of the Rings, nor watched the movies, so I feel like I'm really missing out. And these are beautiful. I've got an illustrated box set of these. They are so stunning. They have artwork all through them. And I did do a bit of a Goodreads and have a look, and they say you're meant to read The Hobbit first. It's also coming in, like, how pretty are some of these images? It's also coming into winter here, and it's meant to be, like, everyone says that these books are kind of like, oh, they're good, you can just sit inside and read them on a rainy day. So The Hobbit is going on the TBR. I also have Throttled by Lauren Asher, because we don't actually have, well, we've got The Mistake as a sport romance, but I want to put another sports romance on here. So this is an F1 romance. It's book 1 in the Dirty Air series, and it's not very long, and I do like Lauren Asher's writing quite a bit. We have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. It has a step back. I've never had a book with a step back before, so I really love that. I don't know, we don't really have a thriller on here. We have the reappearance of Rachel Price, but I feel like that's a bit more maybe of a mystery. And I read His and Hers, and I absolutely loved it. So I really want to read another one by Alice Feeney. I've also got the new one, My Husband's Wife, sitting on my shelf as well. And the last book is Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. That's a stunning cover as well. This, I think, is more of like a sci-fi. Oh, it's a dystopian. So it's a dystopia that follows 2 young soldiers who must depend on unlikely allies in their fight for survival. I just think it looks really cool and future real. I don't know what the word is. It's very futuristic. Like, look at that. How stunning. Alrighty, that's all the books on our TBR. So for June, not May, we're in May now. I'm going to run you through everything we've put on the TBR. For the books I've thrown on just for some variety, we have The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. It's so shiny, it's so cute. Throttled by Lauren Asher. I hope this is still on KU, it used to be. And Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. Then from our prompts for a book with an award on the front, we have God of Malice by Rena Kent, which is book 1 in the Legacy of Gods series. For, what is this one? What was this prompt again? It's quite fun, I think. For a light-hearted book, we have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. For a book with alternating POVs, we have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which is book 1 in, I believe it's literally A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I believe that's the name of it. I think it is. Then for the longest book on my TBR, we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 1 in the Mistborn trilogy. For a book that has mixed media, we have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. And then a book that's been on my TBR for more than a year is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. And that concludes our video today, our first long video that we're ever putting up. I really hope you all enjoyed, and please let me know, what are you going to read in the month of June? Have a wonderful rest of your day or night.